The illusion of sisterhood is officially shattered. What once looked like a vibrant, loving polygamous family, filled with laughter, unity, and for strong wives navigating life together, has been exposed for what it truly was, a slow motion disaster hiding behind fake smiles and confessional camera cuts. And let's be clear, Christine did not destroy this family. Robyn and Kody did. Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and welcome back to TLC Sister Wives Recap, where we dig deep, call it exactly how it is, and bring the emotional truth behind what the cameras only hinted at. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe and drop a comment below because this one is personal. Today, we're getting real about what truly broke the Brown family. And spoiler alert, it wasn't Christine walking away that ended it. It was years of manipulation, favoritism, emotional neglect, and a relationship built entirely on exclusion and blame. Christine didn't blow the house down. She escaped from it. There's a massive difference at the heart of this emotional wreckage. Robyn Brown, the so-called last wife, who arrived with tears in her eyes and a trembling voice, but whose every move since has drawn a line between her and the rest of the family. From secret decisions behind closed doors to passive-aggressive well-wishes and a home that looked nothing like the shared vision the Browns once had, Robyn didn't join the family. She rewrote the rules the moment she arrived, and Kody, the once playful, energetic, if slightly chaotic father of 18, he's not just complicit, he's a co-architect of this collapse. He's the one who chose one wife and one set of kids over everyone else and then cried foul when the others chose freedom over emotional starvation. What we're witnessing isn't a woman running away from commitment. It's a woman finally choosing herself after years of being told she didn't matter unless she was submissive, obedient, and silent. Christine didn't leave the family. She left the dysfunction, and the receipts, they're all on camera, so buckle up. Because we're about to break down how Robyn and Kody burned it all to the ground, and then stood in the ashes pretending to be confused when Robyn Brown offered her so-called blessing for Christine and David's wedding. It came wrapped in a ribbon of passive-aggressive tension that was impossible to ignore. I just hope Christine and David can be happy. That's all I'm going to say. That's all, really. For someone who loves to preach unity, loyalty, and doing what's right, Robyn said the absolute bare minimum with the absolute maximum shade. Her tone was clipped, her face barely moved, and her eyes, they gave everything away. She didn't mean "I hope you're happy." What she meant was, "I still don't approve and I want everyone to know it." The footage doesn't lie. Robyn looked more like someone giving a forced apology at a workplace HR meeting than a woman genuinely wishing another mother, the mother of her husband's children, happiness in her new chapter. It wasn't warmth. It wasn't closure. It was optics, and Robyn knows exactly how to play that game. She's done it before, from day one. Robyn has operated with a carefully constructed image, the misunderstood, soft-spoken outsider. But behind that trembling voice and strategically placed tears is a woman who has slowly, methodically carved out a space where she's the only one left standing beside Kody. And now that Christine has moved on, and not just moved on, but glowed up, Robyn's barely able to hide the resentment. Because Christine isn't just surviving post-Kody. She's thriving. She has a partner who smiles at her like she's a son. She's dancing again. She's laughing without looking over her shoulder, and she's finally being treated like she matters. Not just as a mother or a co-wife, but as a woman. That happiness is deafening, and Robyn can't stand it. Because it confirms everything Robyn didn't want the world to see. That maybe Kody wasn't the prize after all, and that Christine's so-called exit wasn't failure, it was freedom. So yes, Robyn offered her well wishes, but they were laced with bitterness, dressed in silence, and soaked in regret. And the truth is, Christine doesn't need her blessing. She already has something far more powerful: peace. When Christine's daughter Isabelle faced major spinal surgery, a life-altering moment in any teenager's world, her father, Kody Brown, was nowhere to be found. Not in the car, not in the hospital, not in the waiting room. He wasn't there because he didn't want to be around Christine that long. That was his excuse, and it wasn't just weak, it was devastating. Let's be clear, if this surgery had been Ariela's, Kody would have cleared his schedule, hired a private jet, and held her hand the entire time. And we all know it. Instead, Isabelle, Sweet, shy, incredibly patient Isabelle was left to brave the operating room with her mother by her side, while her father stayed home, tucked into the warm bubble of Robyn's home, claiming he was protecting the family from COVID exposure. But his actions told a different story, because that same man, the one who couldn't make the trip to support his daughter during one of the most critical events of her life, was still showing up to Robyn's house, still holding Arian, Saul close, still playing the doting dad in one household while disappearing from the others. And Robyn, silent, no public support, no message to Isabelle, no visible concern. Just more decorating, more shopping, more pretending to be the peacemaker, while turning her back on the real issues. Christine, meanwhile, stood strong alone. She handled the logistics, the fear, the hospital beds, the aftercare. She carried the entire emotional weight of a terrified teenage daughter, while Kody shrugged and said, "Well, the phone goes both ways." "No, Kody, the responsibility goes one way, yours. This wasn't a scheduling conflict. This wasn't a co-parenting misstep. This was the brutal reality of conditional parenting. Kody shows up when it's easy, when it makes him look good, when the wife involved is Robyn. But if it's Christine's kid or Janelle's, suddenly the rules change. Suddenly it's the pandemic, or they can call me, or they don't respect me. It's not parenting, it's punishment, and it's pattern. Kody doesn't love all his kids equally. He loves the ones who make him feel loved back. And if your mother's not Robyn, you're already at the bottom of the list. Christine didn't just leave Kody Brown. She set herself free after years of playing second, third, or fourth fiddle in a family where love came with conditions. Christine finally stepped into her worth, and the transformation, nothing short of powerful. Her relationship with David Woolley is proof that real love doesn't belittle, silence, or punish. It lifts, it laughs, it heals. With David, Christine glows. She's not asking for time, attention, or basic respect. She's receiving it. Naturally, for the first time, she's being chosen every single day. Something Kody never consistently did, and that joy, that bold, visible, unstoppable joy, it's driving Robyn absolutely insane because Christine's happiness exposes a hard truth. Robyn didn't win. She just inherited a broken man and a fractured legacy. And Christine isn't the only one who walked away from the mess. Janelle, the quiet force of reason in the family, finally drew the line. After decades of keeping the peace and raising a brood of strong, independent kids, she realized that what she was getting from Kody wasn't love. It was logistics. Her relationship had become a business transaction, and the moment she started speaking her truth, Kody folded, defensive, dismissive, unwilling to meet her halfway. So she chose herself. Independence over illusion, peace over proximity, she said. "I'd rather live in an RV alone than in a house where I'm invisible." And honestly, she meant it. And then there's Meri, the most loyal wife Kody ever had. The one who stood by him through betrayal, humiliation, and complete emotional abandonment. 4 years, she waited for a breadcrumb, a sign, a hand to reach back, and Kody gave her nothing. He even admitted, on camera, that he'd never consider a romantic relationship with her again. Yet still, Meri held on, because that's who she is, loyal to a fault. But even she, eventually, couldn't ignore the writing on the wall. Not when she was being excluded, forgotten, and pushed out of the narrative entirely. All three of these women didn't just walk away from a man. They walked away from a system of control. One that centered Robyn at the top and required everyone else to fall in line or fall away. This wasn't a breakdown, it was a liberation. And Robyn, she didn't just watch it happen, she engineered it slowly, silently, and with a perfectly practiced pow. Because in the end, it wasn't about sisterhood, it was about power. And Robyn made sure she was the last woman standing, even if it meant standing completely alone. Robyn Brown has spent over a decade building an image, the misunderstood outsider, the loyal peacemaker, the one who never wanted to replace or outshine the other wives. But the footage, it tells a very different story. Let's start with the wedding. Dress lie in a later episode. Robyn insisted that Kody had nothing to do with picking out her dress. Her words, "I picked it out myself." But fans with sharp memories and sharper screen captures pointed straight back to a scene where Kody is literally standing in the bridal shop helping her choose. He twirled gowns on the rack. He commented on styles. He was involved. So, why lie? Then there's the infamous personality test. Robyn once claimed she didn't take it or that it was done before she joined the family. But in another episode, she's seen discussing the results, clearly familiar with the process. When cornered later about inconsistencies, she backpedaled, saying maybe someone else filled it out for her. Which is it, Robyn? Her story shifts again when it comes to her legal marriage to Kody. Robyn claimed she didn't want to be the legal wife, that she was grateful but reluctant. Yet in earlier seasons, we saw her quietly accept Meri's offer to divorce Kody, so she could marry him and adopt her kids. The move wasn't filled with tears or hesitation. It was strategic, and it changed the power structure instantly. But here's where it gets eerie, her body language. Every time she tells one of these half-truths, the dress, the test, the marriage, her eyes dart. She glances upward or shifts to the right. It's subtle, but it's there, over and over. Nervous tics, classic signs of someone trying to control a narrative instead of speak from the heart. Robyn's entire role on this show has been about image control. But she underestimated one thing. TLC's cameras never stop rolling. The truth is archived, frame by frame, and the contradictions are stacked like Amazon boxes in her living room. She didn't just trip over the truth. She rewrote it until it didn't match what we all saw happen. So while Robyn continues to deliver polished soundbites and pour me expressions, the raw footage remains her worst enemy because in the world of sister wives, the tape never lies. Once upon a time, Kody Brown was the wild-haired, fast-talking, endlessly energetic dad bouncing between homes with goofy dance moves and bad jokes. That somehow worked. He was the center of the family, loud, chaotic, but deeply connected to his kids and his wives. But that man, he's gone. What remains is a bitter, defensive, and emotionally stunted version of himself, trapped in a life he helped design, but never truly understood. The shift wasn't sudden, but it was devastating and quietly. Behind the scenes, Robyn helped nudge him into that emotional fortress where now only she and her children are allowed entry. Under Robyn's soft-spoken suggestions and constant reminders that the others don't respect you, Kody began isolating. He pulled away from Janelle's kids, ignored Christine's, became increasingly critical of Meri, and in the end, he built a wall so high around Robyn's house that even his own daughters couldn't climb it. His older children, they stopped calling. Some outright rejected his presence. Because Kody's love became transactional, based not on unconditional fatherhood, but on compliance and ego-stroking. If you questioned him, you were cut off. If you didn't worship him, you were neglected. Meanwhile, inside Robyn's house, he clings to the younger kids, the ones still young enough to adore him without judgment. He treats their affection like oxygen, and in return, Robyn controls the air supply. And now, the once charismatic patriarch finds himself watching from the outside. He's no longer the man everyone waits for. He's the man no one invites. Birthdays missed, holidays broken, weddings celebrated without him. The family that once made Kody feel like a king now flourishes without his presence. They laugh louder, love deeper, heal faster, and he's not part of it. He traded family for favoritism, connection for control, and in the end, he wasn't pushed out. He exiled himself, and now he sits in the very kingdom he built for one woman, completely alone.